I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on the street boy beats. I'm on it, man. I told y'all niggas y'all ain't ready, man. We can't be stopped. On the strip. Storehouse in the table.
Sound like he's shivering. That's R Kelly. Listen, hold on. Let's see what he said. Look. Don't it sound like he do it seem like he doing this in there? Like he trying to be away from me. Cause he say some shit, you know, cause this ain't the whole shit, it's only like a minute or two. Yeah. I think it could. We should have looked that up.
Hey, brother, when I tell my people about this, they're going to write. Because nobody likes the way the system is playing you and anybody else by creating crooked laws inside of the alleged good laws. So, brother, it's all good. I'll talk to you soon, Kels. I'm always open for you. Okay, bet. All right, brother, respect.
That was big of Corey Holcomb to even let him do that.
Yeah.
Cause you know he give a motherfucker the blues, and I think he even said some crazy shit before about R. Kelly.
I thought some people said R. Kelly couldn't read.
I go through that every time I.
That's the first thing I thought of when I heard.
He's how can a song you write or motherfucker and you can't read?
Yeah, but he was saying the address and he was reading the address all the time. I was like, hold on, he reading?
Somebody in the background like, no. Kels is 10 10 3 4 3 4.
I mean, I think he write it like he write it to be able to read it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you ain't got to write it. You can record it. Whatever you coming in
Well,
your brain.
I'm saying, if he write a song, he gonna write it in a way that he know how to read it.
Right.
Whether it be
Like
all
that
the
garbage shit you be writing that nobody can read.
You can read that.
Whether it be all the letters in it or some of the letters in it, you know what I'm saying? He gonna write it a way that he know how to.
I don't know. I've been tripping about them talking about his how good he write and read for the longest because how great a song maker he is. Like you could hum some shit, okay, some melodies, but that ain't making the tracks and fucking singing the hooks and shit unless his mind is so bananas to where it's like, all right, nigga, put on. You know when these came out, I ain't gonna say if they did or didn't.
But he didn't say what
the technology to write your words and write the music if you playing it. You know what I'm saying?
What
like
do you
that.
want us to write in for it? What does he want us to write in for it then?
Well, he want motherfuckers to write in because of the case. The case, he's not in jail for what everybody think he in jail for. He in jail for racketeering. Not the
Fucking
sexual abuse and shit like that. He's not in jail for none of that shit. And they holding him like he in jail for that shit. So they trying to get people to write to judges and things like that because the evidence that they don't have no real
They hit him
evidence.
with sex trafficking too?
No.
they hit him with sex trafficking. They hit him with
I remember I heard that over there.
taking a woman across state lines. Or something.
But I think that even got dropped, right?
I don't think that got dropped.
No,
I think
I
that's
could
the
be
real
wrong,
reason
but
he's in jail right there. Taking
But also racketeering.
I don't think it's racketeering.
They dropped the racketeering?
I think that's I ain't for sure. That might be part of it. but I'm pretty sure that.
Thing is, they gonna
taking a motherfucker across state line.
they go what they go. The bottom line, what's your boy? He's going to.
There's not enough details, really.
Come back out.
Because he didn't have enough time to talk, you know what I'm saying? He really didn't.
But that's as long as the phone call
I think
was.
Corey Holcomb said something about it in the before or after.
He spoke about how
he's not in jail for
the shit that they saying he did. And but remember, me and you even had that conversation last year or so.
Yeah.
2 years ago. I remember I was out west riding, and that's why I know how long ago it was. And you was talking about like, no, and because of the chicks, the people, the one girl on the one thing said she met him. I was listening to something totally different, and the girl said she met him at the case. Well, he was at the case.
Yeah, she was going to court.
Yeah, like I'm like, damn, what kind of fucked up shit is that?
And you had to be at a certain age to be at the court. Yeah, so she was with her
It's
mom.
racketeering and sex trafficking. That's what would bother me about the sex trafficking part. Like, he got the bitches for himself. Like, he wasn't selling them, and people wasn't bringing him bitches. He was making them.
Right.
And I think his lawyer was they were saying his lawyer should have brung certain points up, and they didn't. And they wouldn't have been, you know, that wouldn't have flew. That wouldn't have been, you know what I'm saying?
So the lawyer just taking money and having an assumption.
I don't think he was.
The lawyer wanted 10 years.
I don't think he was.
They gave him 25.
I don't think he knew what he was doing.
Fighting hard enough.
I don't think he knew what he was doing.
Had that good fight.
Nah, yeah, there looks like a lot of evidence, especially that videotape of the look of him saying, just the best 14-year-old pussy I done had. Like, you just said it like 12 times. Like, the evidence, like.
But that ain't what the shit is for, though.
I think that's part of the trafficking.
I think that's not
The trafficking is selling something.
the trafficking.
That's what I thought. So why would you bring that? Why would you even put that on there? If he's, like I said, you got
Because they trying to make shit stick to hold him. The shit eventually will drop off because or whatever.
No,
As
that's
they
when he's
go to
in jail.
court, like you gotta drop that. The motherfucker have to drop something.
Those never the racketeering nor the sexual trafficking was dropped. That's what he's in prison for those two things.
I know. But what he's saying is
That's what he was trying.
they don't got no
That's what he in
evidence.
jail for.
That's
They
what
hold
he-
him on
that's
shit
what
they
he
have no
went to-
evidence
Huh?
for.
That's what he went to prison for.
In
They
Chicago.
charged him with probably like 1,500 different things and shit.
So he in jail for 30 years in New York for the Mann Act, and that's transporting a motherfucker across state lines. That's the Mann Act, I think. Now in Chicago, he got what you talking about, boy?
Trafficking.
Trafficking.
Well,
He was convicted of sexual exploitation of a child.
In Chicago, is that recent or is that?
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
well, they showing it the nigga. Basically, the whole shit what they going for is him being released.
Yeah, you're trying to get a pill.
Trying to get appealed.
And I think the lawyer that Bill Cosby used is on the case.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna get it turned.
They got the appeal, so I think they got it, and now they're waiting for
Just write the judge while the match play.
them to come back with if the shit they did in New York was right. They waiting for him to tell them if it was right and give him a new trial.
So we keep our eyes open for that. Ain't no conclusion or no shit like that. Until
Ain't
the
no
end of the
conclusion.
case. You feel me? So we also, you got the Charleston white joint on there. About what he said about Martin Luther
Martin
King.
Luther King.
You ain't never met Martin Luther King. I did.
Martin Luther
I posted it
King.
on my Facebook. I mean, I tried to word it as easy as possible, saying, "Well, we're gonna listen to the audio of Charleston White saying." What I said was, did Martin Luther King and the Civil Rights Movement create a nightmare or create a nightmare for today's society, something like that. I can't go because I'm on my live, so I don't want to. I'm saying the wrong shit, but it's the right shit. But I was just basically saying, did that create a
So do you feel like as a culture
did it create a problem in our shit?
see
So,
all this promised land
is that it
above us,
right
so
there?
much opportunity above us, but as a culture, no matter what we do, we only going to get so far.
No, we ain't got no glass in it. How we see it, and we've been here, and we done had every opportunity to get it. How the Mexicans come here, and they got all the big trucks, and they got the land. We put here for them.
But it kind of makes sense, right? Like, so like, I look at myself, right? My mother, 71 years old. She never went to an integrated high school. So I'm 37, and I'm only one generation from Jim Crow.
Yeah, they had land though. Grandma and mama them had land.
Facts.
We forfeited the land.
Gotcha.
Yeah, see, we didn't pay the taxes, and we didn't want to stay in the country. We didn't want to stay in the rural areas. So we had land.
Yeah.
This bullshit.
All this land here used to be niggas.
Right.
We used to have tractors. We used to have cows. We used to have chickens. We used to have everything the Mexicans got.
Let me pause that when he said that would piss me off. He talking about so we had land and tractors and shit like that.
Niggas
We also had sheriffs and deputies and you know what I'm saying, that run up in your house and snatch motherfuckers out of there and you won't see them again till 3 days later they floating in the river and hanging
When the
or some
motherfucker
shit.
was doing some shit,
That's
that was
what they
possibly
ran
wrong.
from. They ran from that because the South was just dirty on racism.
Yeah.
Super dirty. So of course you're gonna go up north where they racist, but they not dirty racist. Like, you know, run up in your house and snatch you, and that's just common. That's what you ran from.
When you up north, you still looking at the South. So
You a farmer and they came and they burnt your fields.
when you in Kentucky, you still looking at, and us being in Ohio, we still looking at Kentucky. Motherfuckers in Michigan looking at us. Niggas still, it made how disintegrated it is all the way from down south all the way up to Michigan, just in our
Like
region.
Emmett Till. You know, it was racist in the Midwest, but it was racist in the South.
Yeah,
And like
right.
you could die tomorrow in the
Right,
South.
right. But you know, also though, during those times, it was people that were, as time went along, created their own respect, even amongst the whites. Now they might not like you as a nigger, but they would still. We not over there fucking with.
I mean, he's acting like the foot was never really. He acting like the foot never left your neck. You know what I'm saying? Like you can talk about like whatever you want to talk about, but for somebody to basically make a law that says you can't go to college because you're black, you know what I'm saying? You can't have this because you're black. You know what I'm saying? You can't get a loan from the bank and open up a neighborhood, a bar or restaurant or a supermarket in a white neighborhood. You know, you can't do that right there. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to make sure that you can't do it in our neighborhood. I heard an Asian lady say this right here, that Asians can't open up nothing in a white, you know what I'm saying, neighborhood.
Yeah,
you know
they're the
but they can
minority
open
too.
up, they can get a loan from a bank, and if you open it up in a black neighborhood, then we'll allow you to do that, even though we won't allow them to do that for them own selves. You know, I can't get a loan from the bank because I want to put something up on Livingston Avenue. They'll probably deny me, but they'll open up, you know what I'm saying, for somebody else of a different race.
No, they will. And that's the point I was making as far as
He's leaving all of that out.
yeah. But he's not necessarily saying that. He's just speaking it in reality, in the original, because maybe if certain things wasn't put into play through using, you know, whites, because they were in charge, but there were some black people that were financially
I'm just listening to
stable.
all untold stories. Like, let's look. You want to listen to it more? Untold. It ain't finished.
I seen somebody brought the analogy at one time that when you look at Mexicans or Hispanics or Cubans, you can even say Haitians or Jamaicans and Africans, every other ethnicity that came here on their own. A few was able to come here, get established, bring the rest, they move in together, they build their own communities because it was by choice that they came here. But as you say, the nigga nation was snatched and robbed and brought here. And then, you know, you enslaved 400 years, white people were able to get free labor. So of course they're going to be ahead. And then once they say, okay, we're quote unquote free, you free with no assets. So you really building up from 1-0 in 3 generations.
But check this out. You have to go back to the Reconstruction era, before when they was building the railroads in America.
Okay.
Black people thrive more than anybody. 1900s, 1910s, 1920s, black people, the black was vibrant. They had suits, they built Black Wall Street, they had Rosewood in Florida.
Yeah.
We had Jones Street, 9th Street, downtown Fort Worth, so many black places, Detroit, black people was vibrant, right? During the right after the Reconstruction era. Start thinking about, we started wanting to migrate from the rural areas where we had land and we was thriving to these new developed places that they were building cities.
It's a movie I saw that I seen just because
So
of it.
we started going to the big cities, getting away from our roots, where we was from. So our family members started following us, whoever went to the military, right?
That's what I'm saying. You was chased out of there, though.
Forfeiting our
No,
land.
not everybody.
We stopped wanting to
You saying
wear
forfeit?
coveralls.
Listen,
Driving a tractor.
with that, even on that same shit right there.
That's what I was saying earlier, you know what I'm saying? When he was saying that you just went to the north just to have fun. No, nigga, they was killing people.
a lot of people, like, it was like a thing to where they was living and had a comfortable life at a point when niggas from down there came up here and got a whiff of what they was calling the city life. They was like, nigga, I'm going up north.
Yeah, exactly. Because you got family that's writing you and it's like, yeah, there's some race. They don't treat us the same, but they don't treat us like y'all. You know what I'm saying? I got me a nice little apartment. You know what I'm saying? They not gonna, ain't none of that shit jumping off right there. Got me a nice little job.
The blacks in the north was never slaves.
Like, let's say you got a job and you from there and this job is paying 50 cents an hour. You know what I'm saying? But because you black, you getting 15 cents an hour. So they up north talking about something. No, we getting 30 cents an hour. Of course you gonna sit there and say we are poor. We don't got shoes on our fucking feet. You know what I'm saying? We are poor. Yeah, we got this land, but these motherfuckers keep burning our fields and shit down. You know what I'm saying? They won't sell us parts for our tractor and shit because we black and shit. Like, man, they making it hard for us. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for y'all up there, but it ain't as hard now. So of course you gonna move.
But it was shit like that was hard. But see, what the white people did always,
it's no different than the
because
mic.
it's just like right now. They took our money that you was allowed to go in the city, into the town. If you had a farm or something, you was allowed to go in town and buy your supplies. Because when you in town buying supplies or your shit you need for your farm and shit like that, that's green. They wouldn't give a fuck if you was a nigga or not.
Unless you look them right in their eyeballs when you ain't supposed to be looking at no. You know, like I said, Emmett Till, you from the Midwest. Their racism
they
is
said something
different
about a
than
girl
that
with
way.
Emmett Till, but
Listen, right
if
here.
you was Mr. Paul,
What they explained to him,
Paul,
don't even look a white
Mr.
man.
Clark.
Don't look a white man in his eyes. Don't look him in his eyes. You don't talk to a white man unless he talks to you first. You know what I'm saying? They gave him a bunch of rules.
But they blame that too.
But it wasn't the rules up north.
Right, but if Mr. Clark that be coming to get his shit and you been there for years and your daddy was there before you, a lot of people they respected them, they understood and met them, and not necessarily not being prejudiced towards them, but that money speak more
I'm
volumes.
explaining something to you right here. We both farmers. I'm a white one, you a black one. Your field come out way better than mine. You think I'm gonna let you cash that shit in? Nigga, I'm gonna either burn
ain't
your
got nothing
shit.
to do with it.
I'm gonna either burn your shit right in your face. You can't stop me.
If you do it, yeah, that does
I'm
happen.
gonna take your shit or I'm gonna burn your shit.
You might not take it because, like I said, the motherfuckers, you might burn it.
Why not? It's the sheriff and them doing it. What are you talking about?
It's possible.
Who you gonna call?
But motherfuckers, it ain't everybody wasn't just getting sucked down.
Somebody get raped down there, they just gonna say it's you. You know, you weren't even over there, but yet still you doing
They
time.
do that shit up here too.
Yeah, but it was dirty down there. You know what I'm saying? Your peers.
But what I'm saying is people that lived in areas, like when they got their land or whatever the fuck happened, they got their land and they were able to thrive. You know what I mean? You ain't necessarily, you know, you're allowed to go into the, they didn't want you in a restaurant.
Black
they
Wall
didn't
Street
care
was
about
thriving.
you coming in a store.
Black Wall Street was thriving, wasn't it?
Yeah, until they burnt it down.
Exactly what I'm talking about right there.
So what the fuck, that means, on that note, that means it's a problem with black
You're doing
people.
good to be black. You know what I'm saying? But when you start doing good where it's up to the whites, oh, we gotta take that shit from you.
That means
We're not gonna be
that
equal.
means it's another
That's
problem.
the whole thing. You still animal to us. We're not going to be equal.
That's another black problem. So that means we need to not
So
care.
we're strong in the South.
We need to not care about who we kill also to make our point, to get our point across. Then they shouldn't have been, if you want a motherfucker to be heard, because that's what they was doing, they was murdering us. You heard what I said, nigger? And the rest of y'all motherfucking
But
niggas.
you was never gonna get heard for the simple fact that this is why you're not gonna get heard. So many people was leaving the South. Right now, everybody running to the South. Back then, you was leaving the South. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't shit there, but just death. You know what I'm saying? Jealousy, hate. So you leaving the South.
People
Even
were
white
staying,
people,
though.
even white people was leaving the South and shit. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
because they all from the same shit. They got a cousin or somebody that went up north and it's supposed to be popping up north and they come back down. That's probably why the South
Nah, 'cause
got
keep in
fucking
mind,
all the heroin and
there's
the
another
drugs
thing.
because a motherfucker coming from up top like, yeah, he played the trumpet. This shit is the shit.
When they
Get
abolished-
back down there, that nigga.
When they
nigga
abolished
smack.
slavery, you know what I'm saying, the poor whites, they were happy because now we can get jobs. We couldn't get jobs before because slaves, they had jobs for free. It was free labor, so we can't get jobs. You know what I'm saying? That's why Lincoln freed the slave because slavery was crippling America's economy. The poor white people, you know what I'm saying, they couldn't eat because they couldn't get jobs. Now you're gone, you know what I'm saying? Now the slavery is abolished. Y'all thought the slaves was just going to disappear or some shit. No, they became indentured servants. So now
Some of them.
you didn't have no nigger go back to Africa when slavery existed because shit, we need y'all motherfuckers.
Nigga the nigga ain't never seen Africa, they ain't gonna go back to Africa.
Only reason why go back to Africa nigga came about is when, you know, slavery was over. Because we thought y'all was going to disappear. But y'all still got the jobs because y'all indentured service. Y'all working for room and board. That's just it. For free still. You know what I'm saying? And I still can't get a job. So I got to get rid of y'all physically.
And that's what you think was happening? I mean,
No,
it was
that
happening
is-
to an
that-
extent,
that is what happened.
but it wasn't happening on as a larger scale as you talking about.
No, in the South, it was the largest.
It wasn't like, that means everybody would wake up every day of the fucking week and burn the house down, threaten a nigga, run a nigga out of there. I mean, it was happening to
In the
people.
whole South, yeah, every day it was
It was
happening.
happening to people every day, but it was still just as many people staying because
You ever
motherfuckers-
watch TV and they be like, you know what I'm saying, every 27 hours, a woman is being raped. Every day, every 27 hours, or every, you know what I'm saying, they'll say
That shit
something.
is actually happening
that's
more than
every
that.
day. So if that's in the whole South, yeah, somebody was coming up.
But it's a bunch of niggas. It
every
was a
day.
bunch of niggas, even though they were slaves. It was still
This
a
is how you
mass
know right
niggas,
here.
bro.
When you talk to older people, like your great great grandmothers and all that right there, and they
You talk to your
they can-
great-great-grandmother?
Like I did. Like she was from Savannah, Georgia. You know what I'm saying? And when she could sit up there and tell you, like at 8 years old, you could see people hanging off a tree right there. You done seen that so many times. You know what I'm saying? That dulls you. Right? That's another one hanging from the tree. You know what I'm saying? I'ma steal your shoes off your feet you hung. You're not gonna need these shoes no more because the shoes you got on is fucked up.
So my point is, I'm saying from what you said about a lot of black people stayed also. A lot of black people still own their land, and they went through the bullshit.
Yeah, a lot of them
they had to go through to be on the land because a lot of motherfuckers, when slavery was over, by law, a lot of people got land and shit. That's why he's saying a lot of people got land and shit like that when slavery was over. But what he said was on that particular part, niggas didn't want to pay the taxes on the land. Niggas think the North
Because
is.
they were swindled out the taxes of the land.
I mean, you may have been,
You
but
automatically-
if you making your money, I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there.
They automatically
I wasn't
want to
there.
have- They automatically want you to have the education of a snail. You know what I'm saying? We don't want you to be smart. We don't want you to do nothing. You can't
Yeah,
go to these
but-
schools and all
but-
that right there. So here, I'm got you now dealing with these contracts about some. Let's just put your signature right there.
But
You
when
read it.
they know that knowledge, because they was already working it before they got it. They already knew the knowledge. If you make this much off an acre of this, you make this. They knew. Motherfucker wasn't totally stupid and got it. When they let you go, I'm like, Paul, I'm coming to you today.
I have read novels where you sent that money to me. You know what I'm saying? Or you actually put it in my hand. And I'm saying, I never got the last 4 payments.
That shit, motherfucker.
Now you owe me 4 payments, you know what I'm saying? Four payments right now. And I know you ain't got it. I know you ain't got it. You know, and what you gonna do? I got the sheriff behind me right here, and there's blood on his shoes already.
But still, though, I understand.
Yeah, they were relentless.
I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on the street boy beats. I'm on it, man. I told y'all niggas y'all ain't ready, man. We can't be stopped on the strip.
Storehouse in the town.